What's the deal, y'all? This your man King Eric, the media assassin, coming at y'all with another video. Be sure to subscribe, hit that like button for me. Make sure y'all share this video, like this video, post it, whatever, man. Cause we trying to get this engagement back up. We've been at 121,000 for almost months now. We've been shadow banned, so therefore we gotta push that line heavily, man. So definitely do that for me. So with this video here, man, I want to let the people know, for those who probably were born in the later on after the 90s, that on the contrary of what people may believe with these podcasts, the beef with Suge, with Snoop Dogg and Dre was serious. He literally made those guys' lives a living hell for a decade. Now, the origins of this started was when Suge, he felt betrayed when Dr. Dre left in 1996. People don't understand how shocking that was. He left in 1996, and he explained why he left in the summer of 96 with the source issue. And in Suge's mind, he felt that Dr. Dre had betrayed him because he felt if it wasn't for him, he would have been rotting in Rufus, begging Eazy-E for a job and working for pennies. Same with Snoop. Snoop, he felt that he saved Snoop's life from doing life in prison. He put his money up to fight Snoop's case for him. So, with Tupac getting killed and those two leaving, that left Death Row in shambles. So, in the meantime, when Snoop left, he was broke. Dr. Dre, when he left, he had nothing. So, but Suge had a lot of juice still. He had that intimidation factor. Let's start with the Greatest Hits album. Y'all remember the Death Row Greatest Hits album? That nigga literally put Ice Cube's No Vaseline on the compilation. And the second half, he literally remixed all of Dr. Dre's hits. Had Daz or some other producers remix the same hits. It wasn't those magic remixes that was already on the maxi singles. It was some other shit. If you listen to that whole second disc, it's full of remixes from different producers. He wanted to show that his shit was better than Dre's. Then it got even more disrespectful. Then we talking about the Dead Man Walking album. He literally called this album Dead Man Walking. It basically implies Snoop was a dead man walking. And then you look on the back cover, it had Snoop Dogg in a coffin. And that was, taken from the Murder Was the Case flick. But he had Snoop Dogg in a coffin. And it's basically songs from the Dogg Father and the documentary album that he was working on from like the 96 and 97. And he tried to do that to derail his releases for The Last Meal. Now, he also had somebody post The Last Meal on bootleg. Like, he was literally trying to find ways to fuck with Snoop's money and Dre. And don't get me started on some of the stuff they had auctioned, man. Like, there was another auction picture. When you look at that auction that they had of Death Row memorabilia, you had a black eye with Nate Dogg, or Nate Dogg with gunshot bullets on there. You had the Machiavelli visual art where you had Dre getting done from behind. He had Biggie dressed like a pig and Diddy dressed in a dress. Suge was a crazy dude, man. Then I ain't even get into what's the name of that VHS tape that dropped? They did like in '99, Death Row Uncut, where you had them implying that Dre had HIV. They brought a gay lover on there. Then he posted Snoop and Dre's addresses on the tape. Then the soundtrack to Too Gangsta for Radio, where in the intro you had Snoop Dogg having nightmares of Suge coming home from prison. And on top of that, you had Dre getting done from behind by another dude in exchange for some music. That was a whole the whole Chronic 2000 and that Gangsta for Radio was all disses to Dre and Snoop. Then on top of that, we ain't even get started on the Source Awards. Like, Death Row was making it hell for them niggas, man. They have fights at the Vibe Awards or fights at the Soul Train Awards and the Source Awards. Eminem was scared for his life. It was crazy. It was crazy at the time because, see, they didn't really have the resources to really fight back. See, Dre really pretty much ignored him. Because Dre ain't really a street guy. But for a guy like Snoop, who's rooted from the streets, that was his rep right there. So when Snoop finally got his business together, he finally got on a position where he's a position of power. He had his resources and finances back together. He was able to fight back. That's where he started putting out the diss records against against Suge, like Pimp Slap, and he started turning the tables again. But if you really listen to Suge's podcast, there's always going to be a mutual respect there for Snoop because of the gang shit and because of the simple fact that Snoop is rooted with some heavy hitters behind him. So Suge ain't gonna really push that line. Whereas a guy with Dre ain't really had no street ties with him. He see Dre as like a sellout, Uncle Tom, so to speak, that wanted to be white. So you notice there's a contrast of differences involved with that. But that whole thing is serious, man. You could tell, even speaking to him, that he hated Snoop and Dre with a passion. And most notably Dr. Dre. Because he felt that losing Dre was the moneymaker right there. And that he felt that led to a ricochet of events that came forward. But yeah, man, that Death Row Bad Boy, not Death Row Bad Boy, but that Suge was making it hell on them streets for those guys. So let me know what you guys think, man. Subscribe, hit the like button. Peace.